Salute to my general, Stephen Curley, for supporting man in the Patreon. Any other dons out there who want to join the team, interact with the YB, request content from the YB, check me out, patreon.com/the YB. As you can see on your screen now, Andy Margin Boo, Andy McDonald's Ruiz has made his return to the gym. I've got to be honest, listen, it seems to me, it appears to the YB as if Andy Ruiz is watching. Listen, what do we know? The YB said, Ruiz, stop posting up all this revolutionary content talking about how you can do this, how you can do that. We want to see you back in the gym. Lo and behold, the YB's wish is Andy Ruiz's command. 2-2s, Andy Ruiz back in the gym. But now, on a serious note, I haven't come on here to make out I'm important or anything. I've come on here just to say that hats off to Andy Ruiz. Like, even though you watch my channel, even though obviously you've been dying to show me your training footage. No, I'm joking. But on a serious note, fair play to him. This cat looks like he's on the right track. How long's it been? He's not as motivated as AJ is. It's been 5 weeks, but still, to be out of the ring, to have got whooped like that and only have taken 5 weeks off, I didn't think he had it in him. I was calling him Marcos Maidana. Now, to be fair, he may still flop. We don't know, but historically speaking, the fact he's come back after 5 weeks, he had more than that off after his win against AJ. So that proves that he ain't. Well, it doesn't prove anything. He may well carry on and end up going off the bandwagon. But as far as signs go, this right here is a positive sign for Andy Ruiz fans and boxing fans. For sure, more silence. For sure, more certainty of not training would have been a lot worse than this. Fair play to him, and I really hope that. I know he struggles with weight. Many people do. In fact, even I've struggled with weight at some points in my life. But as an athlete, you've got a short lifespan. Listen, you're 30 years old now. You've got 5 years tops, man. Really, 5-6 years tops. Give these 5-6 years, next 5-6 years to the sport, and then you can eat all the pork pie. Well, even then, you can't really do that. But still, then you can kind of let your hair down a bit. But I really wish, look at the sport at the moment. Like, you've got a lot of people like, I don't know, look at Broner, for example. Look at Gervonta Davis. Gervonta Davis, full of talent, and he's fighting once a year. Not in the gym, missing weight, etc., etc. I wish these guys would really, it's easy for me to say, but still, I wish these guys would appreciate that you're only young once. YOLO, yeah? But that's you only live once, isn't it? But either way, you're only young once, and I think a lot of athletes will regret it when they get to 40 years old and all the goodness is gone. It's too late then. You can't run the clock back when it's too late. And that's why, yeah, Floyd Mayweather, in my opinion, he could have done a lot more. I think he could have been a lot more destructive and he could have fought better opponents at particular times. But still, he was always consistent in his training, was second to none. Bottom line. That's one place you can never fault Floyd. Even if he thought he could have fought better people or he could have fought people earlier, etc., etc. You can't fault Floyd for his preparation. A lot of fighters these days, they want to be all in the videos. Even Andy Ruiz went for a stage of doing this. All in the videos, all trying to be like P. Diddy and that, and trying to be Mayweather. But you don't realise that the whole Mayweather thing is built off a career of working hard. But then again, like I said at the start of this video, fair play to Andy Ruiz, because yeah, he went off the rails a bit, but new money is nothing like new money. There's nothing like being rich for the first time in your life. So the fact that, assuming he has come out of the other end, assuming he is now seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, it's not, to be fair to him, it's only been 6 months. He literally beat AJ 6.5 months ago. So if he's been able to go through that excitement stage and come out the other side of it only 6 months later, hats off to him. And I really hope that is the case. I really hope now you can get the weight down, get down to, I'm telling you now, Andy, yeah, if I was training you, I know it's hard to do, but still, if you can get down to 235, 230, you're going to be a very dangerous man, a very scary man at 230. There's no reason you should be more than 230, in my opinion. We've seen AJ at 6'6" at 237, so you're nowhere near as dense as AJ, and nowhere near as tall, so there's no way you should be more than 230. Even at 230, Andy will still have a bit of blubber on him, no doubt. But still, that just goes to show he's got upwards of £60 to lose. But as an athlete, I said this the other day on another video I did, look, don't come back and crash diet. Come back and plan to be at your peak a year from now. Because to be honest, it's not as if there's any big fights knocking around for you. For example, Wilder and Fury, they're tied up for a year. AJ's going to be tied up with 2 mandatories potentially for a year. Dillian White, yeah, that fight might happen, but it might not. So, therefore, if I was you, I'd spend the next year, or at least the next fight sometime in April, lose a good deal of weight then, and then plan to have another fight when you've lost the other half of the weight. Or maybe you can even fight 3 times and use these camps as discipline. Use these camps as fat loss camps, intense fat loss camps. Not intense as in, oh, we're going to drop 10 pounds every day. I'm talking about as in regiment. Losing weight is about consistency. Not about, oh, let's do it all in a month and then bloom back up. It's about changing your lifestyle. People call it losing weight. It's not really. It's called... you shouldn't look at it as losing weight. You should look at it as changing your lifestyle, because there ain't no losing weight. You can't just... People think, oh, well, I've lost the weight now, and then they go back to what they was doing before. You're just going to put it back on. You've got to, for the next 5 years of your career. Of course, you can have cheat days, and you can have like a week off after you fight, or whatever way you do what you want. But in general, for the next 5 years, be disciplined. And see what... You don't even know what your peak is. We've seen you beat Joseph Parker. We've seen you beat a cloned AJ. And that was you at nowhere near your prime. At 265, you was nowhere near your prime. And even at your whole career, you've never actually been at your prime. You've never been 230. And you said, oh, people were saying things like, oh, well, he lost the weight but then he felt weak. Yeah, because you lost it the wrong way. You didn't feel weak because you didn't have a whole lot of fat on you. You felt weak because your blood sugar was low. The reason your blood sugar was low was because you was cutting way too many calories way too quickly. Bring it down slowly. Bring it down. Lose like £1 a week, really. £1 a week for a year is £50. There you go. Down at prime weight. And then all the hard work's done. And £1 a week for a guy as big as Andy isn't hard at all. You won't even notice it. It probably works out something like, I don't know how much it is, but whatever it is what it is. Because you can bet your bottom dollar he's eating loads. So if you cut off some of that dead weight, you can still have steaks, you can still have nice meals, but don't be having all the extras, all the cream cakes and all the afters. The killer is in the desserts. You can have really fancy meals, they're not so bad. What's bad is all the extras, man, the sweets, the chocolate and the desserts essentially. But that's what he needs to do. I'm not a professional. Bring a nutritionist in and plan out a dietitian. Rather than buying diamonds for your 3-year-old baby daughter, invest in nutrition, because you're going to get... It's an investment. It's an investment. Yeah, if you invest 100 grand or 50 grand a year on a nutritionist, you're going to get that multiple times back when you start winning fights in devastating fashion. I think he can be I've seen how quick his hands are. Imagine if his feet were as quick. And there's no reason why they shouldn't be. The only reason currently is because he's way too bubbly up top. And I reckon a 230-pound Andy Ruiz, I'm still going to back AJ, but that there is a devastating fight. That there will be a truly, bearing in mind AJ said that he's going to come forward for that fight. If Andy Ruiz got in the ring at 230, my butt will be twitching, no doubt, for sure. That'll be a cracking fight to see. It'll be a cracking fight, and it'll be interesting to see him get his wig split anyway. But still, Andy Ruiz at 230 will maul Wilder, it will maul Fury. I think he'll do that anyway, to be honest. I think the only way Fury would be able to beat Andy Ruiz is if he gets on his bike, obviously. But Andy Ruiz at 230, like I said, after the AJ performance, where Andy Ruiz went wrong is, you see Andy Ruiz versus AJ pointing to the ground saying, stay here. And the reason Andy Ruiz was saying point to the ground, and you never saw Mike Tyson do that, was because Mike Tyson was going to come and find you. But at 285 pounds, you can't do that. Yeah? When you're obese, you can't move your feet that quick. You ain't coming to find no one. It's a big joke, but when have you ever seen a fat guy chase someone? And that's essentially what it is. And if you want to be beating these people like Tyson Fury and whatnot, you need to be Mike Tyson style, hunting them down. And you can't do that with a massive 50-pound belly weight on top of you. But yeah, like I said, as a boxing fan, I'm excited to see Ruiz back. And before I go, let me just tell you, man, what he said on his post. He said the journey back is going to be sweet, back to basics. And actually, I got to be honest, this is about you, man. Let me know what you think in the comments. But oh yeah, obviously, make sure you, man, subscribe and like the video. But still, like I was gonna say, look at his belly. He looks he doesn't look as bad as I thought he would. But then again, this cat's used to pulling these Photoshop or these dodgy picture tricks. Sometimes he looks massive, and other times he looks skinny. But bearing in mind he was 285, he actually looks leaner. Maybe it's the haircut though. His haircut looks like he's had a sharp cut. Let me know what you think though. But yeah, he looks like after bearing in mind he came in a fight at 285. And he's had 5 weeks off. I thought he'd be like 300 odd pounds now, but he looks like he's at least maintained, maybe even a few pounds lighter. And if so, that's even better for him. It means he don't have to come down from 300. But who knows what it's saying. Get a plan in, man. Rather than having a whole bag of man who ain't got no value around you, start bringing people in who add value. A nutritionist, a dietitian. That should be, in my opinion. Andy Ruiz's boxing isn't the issue. His cardio's fine. Yeah, his psychology is relatively fine. You see what I mean? That part's you need to concentrate for the next year, in my opinion. Yeah, of course, you still do your training and try and get fitter and whatnot and more powerful. But your main aim needs to be psychologically and physiologically getting your weight right. That in my opinion is what's gonna add the most to Andy Ruiz's game through his career. There's no good trying to get your hands quicker or your feet quicker if you're going to be getting in the ring at 270 pounds. You just don't make no sense. Your biggest upside is getting this weight right. 230 should be your goal. And I'm not being funny, like I said, when you get there, you might even find you can squeeze another few pounds out. But for now, 230 should be your aim. There's no way you need to be heavier than people like AJ, for example. I can't wait to see what Andy Ruiz does in boxing now. I hope he keeps on a straight and narrow. Of course, have fun in life, but make this your focus for the next 5 years. Do your fans proud, and ultimately do boxing proud. You can, if not, like I said, I think you can beat most people, to be fair. I think the top two are you and AJ. If it's you at 230, it's you and AJ, in my opinion. Andy Ruiz mauls Wilder all day, in my opinion. And he gives Fury at 230, he mauls Fury as well. We've just seen Fury go life and death with Wallin. Let's call a spade here. What do you think? Never mind 230. What do you think a 280-pound Ruiz would have done with Fury on that night? He'd have been knocked out. That's what would have happened. Same with Wilder. Wilder would have been knocked out as well.